and I'm very happy to be LinkedIn Live again. So today Fabian will tell us about his experience from the Intersection Group conference, or you probably know the name better than I do.
I think it's conference. Yeah, conferences. Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to your insights. How was Vienna? What did you like? Tell us a little bit about what you learned and what you got for us there.
So thanks, Carsten. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Debrief Intersection Conference. It took place in Vienna last week from Monday to Wednesday. So 3 days. The third day was a kind of a workshop day. I would say really the most interesting day also. And Vienna is always great, of course. Yeah. It was still summer down there, I would say, in Vienna when I was there. And on Sunday we started with a kind of preliminary meeting in a bar where you need to know the address because it had no sign outside. You need to know where to knock on the door, where to ring. It was called 𝗘𝗱𝗴𝗆. I think it's in the first district or so. You can look it up. Google Maps says you more or less where it is, and then you need to find the right entrance. Great event, get to know each other. A lot of participants were already there at the previous evening on Sunday. And thanks a lot for Wolfgang, who chose this bar. Yeah, he's one of the presidents of Intersection Group, and Wolfgang and Milan organized this conference with a lot of help from a lot of other peoples, and he chose the bar. So thanks again for that. Great venue. Intersection, what is it about? What is Intersection? Yeah, what is an Intersection conference? The conference was about enterprise design, and enterprise design is a little bit related to enterprise architecture, but it's going beyond that, just when you look at the term. So there were a lot of different people with different backgrounds and different professions and different job titles there, all around the fact, the motivation was how to design a good, a sustainable, a future enterprise. So there were business architects, enterprise architects, a little bit like me, kind of management consultants, HR coaches, business analysts, business designers, user experience people. We also had some kind of solution architects and so on. So a lot of different professions. Intersection, and what the main theme behind the conference is, the enterprise design says it's not only the designer enterprise, it's not only architecture, which is important, but also the identity and also the experience. This is also kind of the edgy thing. I think you saw it in the advertisement for this debrief. We'll come to that later a little bit. So 3 main facets are there: the identity, the architecture, and the experience. And intersection is about what is on the intersection of each of these 3 facets of an enterprise. So between identity and architecture, you can put organization. Between experience and architecture, there's usually a product, which you have as an enterprise, whatever product it is. And between experience and identity, you have kind of the brand, which is in between. And this is kind of also already the first takeaway from the conference, that whenever something happens, whenever you need to design something which is not just the IT system, but something more, think about an enterprise design. Might not be the whole enterprise, but something which has a large impact on the enterprise. All the interesting things, maybe the problems, maybe where you should look deeply into happen at these intersections, at the organization, at the brand, or at the product. And what's more from this takeaway, even it really helps to call it that way. Usually, I think a lot of people already know, okay, when I do an IT system and I have a new product in there, I need to talk to the salespeople, we need to see how it fits to the brand, and then maybe it all comes together, but if you know definitely what to talk about and use these kind of terms, this really helps. Talks. First 2 days, there were a lot of talks and some workshops in parallel to the talks. So want to pinpoint you to 2 of the talks that I think were quite interesting. The first one was held as a workshop. Yeah, so we had some interactions with each other and then also within the whole group. Bart did it, 𝗘𝗱𝗆𝗆, I hope I pronounce his name right. He came from Australia with his 𝗘𝗱𝗏𝗏, yeah. And although we liked the session, it was about turning change resistance into a sustainable force for change. So how to overcome, how to live, how to work with change resistance. And from his background, this is a little bit technical, also psychological background, management background, Gartner background, and so on. It was really an interesting thing to take away from this workshop. And change, of course, when you think of enterprise design, there's always change in there. Yeah, change what the enterprise does. You build a new enterprise, which is also kind of a change. And his key takeaway was, and even before he was affiliated with the intersection group and had the idea of architecture, identity, and experience in his mind, he realized that change, when it affects a company, it of course affects the people there, it's all about the identity. You might think, okay, it's the job description, if a change happens, or maybe it's the IT support if something changes the way the employees work or something else. The brand might have an additional aspect to it also, but really it's about the identity. And we got to know this when we looked at two examples. The first one was your boss changes. So what aspects of an enterprise or from these facets I already mentioned might change, and it became quite clear that there are a lot of things, of course. Might be the assets, it might be that you need to work with other IT systems, but also what is your job title, what do you have to do, what processes do you have, what is the purpose of your work, everything is affected. But even if there's more change, like just a new IT system, it's also about the identity of yours within your company. And then this is also the key, how to turn a change resistance a little bit into a sustainable force, maybe even embrace the change. So we went to a 7-step or something, going into detail, what is really annoying you about changes, why is it the case, asking a little bit the 5 why questions and so on, then also reflect what the change might personally do to you, finding positive aspects in the change, and then see how you can communicate these, and then to have a more wholesome picture of what the change will do for your company.
Yeah, I think it's sorry to jump in here, but I think the change management is always an aspect that a lot of especially for IT projects or IT-driven changes are often forgetting, and it's something that I love how we at Lean42 also do our projects. We always have our engagements in a way that the team is included, and we make sure that everybody kind of like carries the torch forward, so to say, so that it's not a single person or like a small team that kind of like is the driving force, but that we always include the broader stakeholders. And the mechanism that we use is really in our workshops and in our consulting engagements very often to include that. So it's always good to see that there is a reason and that it's good to do it.
Yeah. And with that workshop, there's also now, for me at least, kind of a mental image structure, how changes affect an enterprise and the people within, and that identity is the main thing you should keep in mind. Second talk, which I found quite interesting and to point you to, is... Yeah.
Sorry. One more thing. If the guys who are, and the girls, like everybody who's listening into this, feel free to also ask questions. We're happy to answer them while we're live here on LinkedIn. So, and if you see this as a recording, just leave a comment after the recording.
Yeah. Second talk from Roger it was, embracing knowledge in the digital age. He's president of the process renewal group, but it was not about the process, but about knowledge. And the main takeaway was that even if he's doing a lot of work in the field of process design, process renewal, process optimization, whatever, that it always came to his mind, and he said it's even more important than other thing to talk about knowledge. And so one of the key takeaways is to say, okay, knowledge is not about what information is or facts is or so. The knowledge is information, the facts, which can be actually applied by people working within the company. So it's not just written somewhere or somebody has it maybe in his mind, but he's not available. So knowledge is only there and it's only active if it can be currently applied to a problem, to a solution, to a customer request, whatever it is. And he says it's always really important to keep track of the knowledge. So when you set up a business model or something similar, design your enterprise, you should always also keep in mind, maybe there's a separate item in there, what the knowledge is and where is it kept and how do we apply the knowledge. So whenever you design something and say, okay, it's about a new product, process, and so on, you think about, what does the IT do, what does sales do, what is the customer support, how do we market it, and so on. But you need to also keep track of your knowledge, see where is it, where can it apply it, and introduce kind of a knowledge management, of course. So knowledge management, of course, everybody talks about it, and it's one thing that, of course, you should do. But from that point of view, that it's a vital part of a business model, I would say it's quite an interesting takeaway. Okay, then on to the third day, which was a kind of a workshop day or user day of 𝗘𝗍𝗶𝗿𝗍. Yeah, kind of a youth audience sitting in a small room. Everything, by the way, took place at the University of Vienna. Yeah, great halls, very nice statues over there and surroundings. So the venue was top notch. So Wolfgang again and Milan, thanks for organizing this and thanks for having us at the Vienna University. The user days, 𝗘𝗍𝗶𝗿𝗍. What is 𝗘𝗍𝗶𝗿𝗍? It's kind of a framework for enterprise design, kind of a meta model, so it defines some facets, some kind of types and how they relate to each other. But it goes a little bit beyond that. It's in a more abstract way, and it's also kind of a language. So it defines terms you should think about or you might think about when you design the enterprise. And again, it relates to what the intersection group is all about, to say, yeah, it's terms in the architecture space, there's something like process or asset, terms in the identity space, talk about content, purpose, and stories. Experience space is something like channels and tasks, and the intersections again. So with this model, which is also, you can also have it into some EA or other tools, 𝗘𝗱𝗴𝘆, which was a vendor which was also there at the conference with a booth, has it integrated into their tool. It's available, so the meta model, the terms, the icons, the colors are there, so you can directly work with the 𝗘𝗍𝗶𝗿𝗍 language. This is a little bit more, it goes beyond that. And the 𝗘𝗍𝗶𝗿𝗍 user days then were a lot of use cases from people who were using this for some time or just said, okay, I heard about this last year here in the conference and already applied this language and this idea into my daily work, and it helped me really a lot. Point out something was also before noon, I think just before noon, from Ariane, carefree feeling, enterprise design for pension insurer. So the use case was about the pension insurer. There was a new law to say, okay, all pension insurers in the Netherlands have to provide a certain product. And so, okay, good, let's do it. We need an IT system, something, or maybe not a new one, it's a new product in the IT system. We put it on our web page, and that's it. It's legally required, something like, for example, some time ago in Germany, some banks were legally required to have some kind of money savings account with a guaranteed revenue. So every bank had it, but they didn't talk about it much. Difference there was, they were also legally required to consult all potential buyers, consumers, customers about this new product. Yeah, in a neutral way, of course, they could also advertise the other products, but they need to do consulting. So it was not just this was something there, but it affected the whole of the company because this product It's going a little bit in the other direction. The other pension fund products relied a little bit more on what the people, that the people take care of their own way and decide a little bit more how they handle money, on what level of security they have. And this was a little bit, maybe not with less security, but a little more revenue maybe, but yeah, it was a little bit different than the other products. And so when she was there as a project manager, she said, okay, quickly realized that I need to do something like 𝗘𝗍𝗶𝗿𝗍 does, to have a common language, of course, and to think about all the other places besides the product, the IT system, because they need to advertise it. They had customer support for it. The sales need to know quite in detail what this new product is and how related to other ones. It also affected the brand a little bit. This was a very stable pension fund, pension insurer, which was there for hundreds of years or so. Now there's a new product they are forced to have, which is not maybe in the core of the brand. Yeah, it's more a little bit more like an investment and not a pension thing. And so quite interesting aspects how this project grew larger, but how 𝗘𝗍𝗶𝗿𝗍 and the language behind it helped them to bring all the people together to talk about common things, and then really to have a good launch and to bring this into life, this new product. That's it from some key takeaways and some experience I wanted to share with you. I really liked it. Great people to talk there from different professions, quite interesting things to talk about. And this model, 𝗘𝗍𝗶𝗿𝗍, the intersection, the idea behind the conference, what the intersection group does. Enterprise design, which is more abstract and more wholesome than enterprise architecture. I think really good idea, good takeaways. Also, I think we at Lean 42 might use this in our consultant work from some of these ideas. And next year the conference will be in Rome. So don't know when yet exactly, maybe also in the autumn somehow, but be prepared for Rome. So that's it so far. Any questions? Yeah.
I do not see any questions coming in from the audience here, but just a reminder, there's more. We've done a debrief of the Rethink EA, Rethink IT conference. We did one for the Forrester Technology and Innovation, one giving you some insights on what are the main topics have been there. There's also a lot of other webinars and recordings about lean agile, information security strategy, IT strategy, enterprise architecture, business architecture, you name it. We had lots of talks here already on LinkedIn Live and on our webinars, and all those recordings are on our Lean Academy. So check it out. It's free. Only we charge for like our conferences if you do want to have like a virtual recording of those, but all the other webinars and insights, it's all for free, because it really is about caring, sharing, and getting kind of like the insights of different people, broaden perspectives. So thank you so much, Fabian, for sharing your insights today.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. Thank you to all of you who watched us here along. And
if you do have more questions, or if you're looking for a really good conference for next year, we recommend going to the Lean Leader Summit, which will be next summer in Munich. And stay tuned for more insights here. Happy Friday, everybody.